Just a whole new experience. It takes sailing, which is so exhilarating anyway, just to a whole new level. It just feels like you're floating in the air and just you're absolutely flying along, and it just makes everything feel so extraordinary when you're out in the water.
I think foiling just makes it so much more interesting again. It just elevates it to a whole new level. It's something really new, exciting, but actually really accessible to it.
It's just as good as sailing, but 3 feet higher.
Foiling's a little bit more tricky to learn, so if you've got someone there to coach you, it definitely benefited me for sure. I'd done a 2-week training, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know that I thought I knew. So having that training and having that person there coaching me along was really helpful along the way.
The feedback loop is so brief that you don't really know what to do. With a bit of guidance, someone spotting you from the outside and explaining what happened, you can pick it up relatively quickly. But you do have to put some effort in.
Where I'm really happy going along and lasting and jibing, now that's made that really hard. So going along is just getting going, getting the height, kind of keeping it at a nice height, and then the jibes as well. You know, just making sure we can get the jibes up, touching down. It's just made it kind of really interesting, I think.
When you first take off, it is just immense. It doesn't feel real. Your mind's all over the place, and it just honestly feels amazing.
And surf community like a raging firestorm. And when multiple world champions like Robby Naish and Kai Lenny are adopting it, it's a sign that foil boarding is here to stay.
You know, normally windsurfing, the faster you go, you get a bunch of power in the sail, and it's quite a physical sport. You know, there's power in your legs, all the power from the sail going through your body into the fin. And every little chop needs to be absorbed, and it's a really engaging experience. You get on the foil, and all of that kind of goes away. You're just balancing on this silent sort of air ride above the water.
One of the special things about foiling that is brand new, I started it about a year ago, and of course I saw it around on TV and on the internet, of course, but now being able to ride it on a kite or on a stand-up board or on a surfboard or on a windsurfer even, it opens up so many cool locations, and it opens up so many ways of riding.
The hydrofoil is basically an underwater airplane. And what happens is the front wing creates lift, and the back wing as a stabilizer also creates downforce. So when there's two forces kind of go in the opposite direction, it creates stability, but it also creates lift continuously. And when that wing starts to rise underwater, so does you. And basically the long fin, or what we call a mast or strut, lifts out of the water. That's connected to your platform, which is the board you're riding, and that lifts you directly out of the water and you're hovering.
Flying above the water is basically a dream. You know, everyone wants to fly, and with kiting you can fly, but riding this board, it's basically snowboarding in the deepest powder you can imagine. You don't feel anything. You don't feel any chop on the water. It's just perfectly smooth. The cool thing about this whole new foil thing is that it brings so much stoke back into everyone's riding. You know, Robby has been riding this beach for I don't know how many years, and I see him go out with a huge smile on his face, and I think that's something really special. It kind of brings back windsurfing in lighter wind. It brings kiting, you know, into super light wind, and then surfing into conditions you would never maybe even ride, like a wave you wouldn't even ride, and it's like all of a sudden the best wave in the world. And that's basically with all the wind as well. It really brings the stoke back in condition.
America's Cup monohull on steroids.
The last America's Cup in the AC50s was really exciting racing, but the yachts were very, very similar to each other. And I think the class we've gone to, the AC75, it really allows us to sort of keep up that momentum of really high-speed, high-performance, exciting boats, but also go off in a new direction and do something completely different.
To start with, it's big. 75 feet long, 16 feet wide. But it's also light, which is crucial because the AC75 is designed to fly. And it's different. Rather than a keel, a brand new concept keeps it standing. Foil cant arms move under or outside the boat to provide the leverage it needs to stay upright. The foil cant system is brand new technology. A battery-driven hydraulic power unit that supplies the energy to lift and lower the immensely strong and heavy foil cant arms. As the boat swaps tacks, the cant system is activated, placing one hydrofoil in the water and lifting the other one out, where its weight becomes ballast. At the end of the arms lie the team's secret weapons, the foil wings. Apart from basic rules governing dimensions and weight, these are open territory for designers.
Foils could well be the area which decides the next America's Cup. The principles which allow an AC75 yacht to foil are basically the same principles that allows an aeroplane to stay in the air. So we've got an airfoil section on the foils, which is roughly the same cross-sectional shape as an aircraft wing. And the flow over the top of those foils is faster than the flow underneath due to the geometry of the section shape. That creates more pressure underneath, which lifts the 7.5 tons of the yacht onto a crew.
A new advancement this Cup, the foil wings have trailing edge flaps, just like on a plane, providing extra lift on takeoff and giving the crews precise control over ride height.
So for the foils, we decided to allow flaps on their trailing edges, which are much the same as ailerons or flaps on an aircraft, which can rotate to control the amount of lift, but ultimately it allows you more precise control of the lift and therefore the ability to fly.
The AC75 is one of the most radical design challenges ever presented to teams in the America's Cup, breaking new ground in design and technology, enduring hallmarks of 170 years of America's Cup competition.
And the wing didn't pop.
4 years later, Emirates Team New Zealand, big nosedive before the start, but it came out okay.
Well, it was a downspeed fairway, rudders popped out of the water, and it was a huge nosedive. And this was in the semi-finals in Bermuda. I was racing on this day. Couldn't believe my eyes when it happened, but the damage was substantial. And the guys just worked night and day, and they had that boat ready to go. And I think it was 24 hours, the boat was ready to go and get back into racing. And shows you how important the whole team is.
And then we go back just a week ago out on the Hauraki Gulf, the Waitemata Harbour and Patriot.
Well, the faster the boat goes, the bigger the crashes are, and this was a huge crash we saw last weekend, and plenty of drama in the America's Cup.
So as you can see, capsize and sinking are nothing new. It's all about the amazing evolution of sailing and pushing it to the limits, because that's what sailors like to do.